Hi, my name is Debi Stephen from Premier Self-Defense. This is Jonathan and this is Kes, and we're going to show you some physical self-defense tools. Obviously, this is the last part of a very good self-defense package. All of the tools that we're going to show you are very realistic situations that may happen to women. Unfortunately for us, most of these situations or most of the attacks happen from behind. We're going to show you things that I've researched on YouTube that I think is absolutely wrong, and then we're going to show you examples where I honestly believe you've got a good chance of actually getting out of the attack. The difficult thing is if things are done incorrectly, and unfortunately many martial artists try and superimpose their martial arts tools into self-defense. If they are done incorrectly, then you have a chance. Obviously, unfortunately, the worst case scenario is that you would be raped or killed. The good self-defense technique is just to give you a window of opportunity to be able to escape. One of the first techniques we're going to run through, I saw advertised in personal safety tips in one of the top magazines in Delhi. And what they say is if a man approaches you, you should hit them as hard as you can in the chest. So I want to demonstrate, as a woman, I've done karate for 25 years. I know that I can hit hard, but I want to show you how almost certainly that won't work. So I'm just going to demonstrate by punching Jonathan, and I will try and hit as hard as I can in the chest, which is what they say. They say hit a man in the chest and he will have a problem breathing. So this is just the reality of it. Now what we're going to do is show the punch again, but the attacker is going to try and have some real energy, because if something doesn't work, of course that man is going to become more aggressive. So I'll just demonstrate again the punch, but now Jonathan is going to have some realistic energy coming into it.
What are you doing?
What we're going to do now is show if somebody, instead of the punch, what would we do? And what the technique that we're going to demonstrate is a slap to the carotid artery. The carotid artery sits sort of just here in the neck, so you can see it runs down the back of the neck and down underneath the collarbone. It's the palm of your hand that hits the carotid artery, and it's because it will affect the oxygen flow around the body that that is why it is such an incredible tool. So if I just do a demonstration of that, then you can see, then you can see it's a much more effective tool than me actually hitting the body. It's because, it's not obviously because I'm super strong, it's just because I know exactly where to hit.
Oi! What's your problem? What's your problem? What's your problem? I said, oh!
The technique we're going to do now is a grab to the throat. It's very common for a male attacker to grab a woman around her throat because it gives him a sense of power and control, which is obviously one of the elements behind a sexual attack. One of the things I've seen demonstrated is that when a male attacker grabs a woman around the throat, and these are one of the things that you should not do, they give you advice that you should lift your hand up and come down on both of his hands. Some of them actually even say grab with a sort of grab and do an arm lock at the same time. The reality is when the man grabs you around the throat and you try to get your arms up, he's going to respond in a way where it's impossible. And you can obviously hear from my voice that the minute I start struggling, the male attacker will immediately start putting pressure on both my carotid artery and on my windpipe, which makes it even more scary. I've always said, why do you need to do all these complicated things? Because to get a man off you, the worst thing to do is to think you should fight strength with strength. You need to immediately work out how you will cause pain. So if Kes did grab me, all I would do is slam my hands into his face. Why would I need to do all of these complicated moves? demonstrate again is another very, very common attack on women, and it's when a male attacker grabs a woman from behind. One of the wrong things that has been taught is that when the guy grabs you from behind, you need to have a look where his foot is, lift your knee up and slam it down onto the roof of his foot. The reality of it is the guy will not grab you and just keep you in that one place where you actually have time to look down and start pounding on his foot. In a real situation, more than likely, if you grab like this, the guy is going to grab you and try and move you from one location to the next as quickly as he possibly can. So what we're going to demonstrate now is the real force that happens when a man grabs you from behind. And I'm going to try and actually do what is falsely advertised, to try and actually cause pain by stepping on Kez's foot, but to show you how it's almost impossible to be able to do that. So he's going to grab me from behind. What is very difficult in that situation is I'm spending 5 or 6 or 7 seconds trying to actually hit the foot. The reality of it is I need to get the male attacker off me within 3 seconds, and the only way to do that is to actually cause pain. So again, we'll show you where Kez grabs me in a realistic way, and obviously what I'll do is in a realistic way, even if he grabs as hard as he can, I still have the movement of my hips, and his groin is obviously absolutely 100% within reach. So in a real situation, if Kez takes 2 steps back, he grabs me, then immediately I've got his groin. And from the groin, obviously, there's other opportunities that you could follow up with. The next thing we're going to discuss is the Weeble. It is a multifunctional personal safety aid. The first thing that it does is, as you can see, carries keys, so it's a key fob. It opens up, and inside the Weeble is a storage facility for 14 milliliters of urine, and this would be used if there was a rape that was drug assisted. You would obviously need to take a sample of urine to help provide evidence to the police that you were drugged before you were raped. Inside the Weeble as well is a card where you would write emergency contact telephone numbers on. If I asked you, do you remember your parents' or your partner's contact telephone number, you may do that now, and then if I ask Kez to attack you and immediately after that said, what is that telephone number, you probably would forget. So the telephone storage facility goes inside the Weeble also with money. So it is a key ring, it stores emergency money, it's a urine sample holder, and it stores your emergency contact details. The great advantage of the Weeble as a physical tool is you can use the butt of the Weeble to try and get somebody off you, as well as actually using the keys. The advantage of using the keys is, as you can see, there's extra distance. So if somebody was coming in to attack you, you've got a longer reach than if you were just using your hands and your legs. If he grabbed me around the throat, I could either use the keys to strike him in the face, or I could use the shaft of the Weeble and you could hit him anywhere. Straight into the face, onto the carotid artery, straight into the ear, even hitting very hard down onto the top of the hands. Almost certainly, if I did this with 100% power, he would release this for a second, and then I would have many more options, and obviously, very importantly, I'd be able to breathe because his hands were off my neck. The Weeble can also be used if he had grabbed you from behind, is that I would slam the Weeble into his groin. Again, I could use the keys, or I could use the shaft of the Weeble. What you've seen in the last few minutes of the Premier Self-Defense DVD is just the physical. It's important to understand that a very good personal safety package also includes advice on how to implement great personal safety habits into your life, how to become a much more aware person, aware about your safety, what happens if you see a situation that's uncomfortable, trusting your intuition and avoiding situations altogether. We also include verbal diffusion, which is a very important personal safety skill to have, and always your last option is the physical, and that's really important. You've seen all of the physical, but you haven't actually seen the full package that we do. If you would like to contact us to get more information about our full courses, then please do that through my website, which is premierselfdefense.co.uk.
I'm a straight shooter, never lose the gun, so when to school to learn how to be cool. Hands in a holster, where's the jam? You gonna be toaster, be a can ham. I was born tough, rough, peace.